It's such a nice thing to know that there will always be, while you're here in your human form, there will always be somewhat of a gap between what you have newly asked for and what you've practiced enough that you are vibrationally completely in alignment with, so that it has come into your experience in all aspects. Your thoughts are continually turning to things, because that's what this leading edge experience is all about. You are leading edge creators. You're out here on the leading edge, and so is your inner being. Your inner being is out here on the leading edge with you, through you. You're not separate from your inner being. Your inner being isn't in heaven, feet dangling over clouds, waiting for you to catch up. It's not like that at all. Your inner being is interested and eager about the new discoveries that you are making, just like you said you would. You said, I'll go forth and I'll explore the contrast with more intimacy and more detail. And your inner being said, and we will remain here non-physically focused. And once you discover something that isn't the way that you want it to be, you'll launch clarity about what you do want. And your inner being also said, you will launch a rocket of desire, but you will not be able to, in the very beginning of the launching of that desire, you won't be up to speed with it because it is too new for you, but it's not too new for us. We will know what you are asking for, and we will hold the frequency of it. And law of attraction will respond to the frequency of it. And so your new desire will be in the state of becoming. This state of becoming, this vibrational reality, is so vivid to us and so important to us that we've given it a name. We call it the vortex. Your vortex of creation, your vibrational reality. Your vibrational reality, your vortex, where all things that you have asked for are in the state of becoming. The only question that we think would be of value for you to ask yourselves is, while all of these cooperative components are being gathered, are you one of them? Are you a cooperative component to your own desire? If you're feeling great, you are. If you're not feeling so great, you're not. It really is that simple. Let's talk for just a moment. We've not done this before. Let's chew together for just a moment about what a cooperative component might look like. So see with us for a moment the sea of physical experience, all of humanity, and focus for just a moment on someone who, for a justified reason, feels vulnerable in this moment. In human form, feeling vulnerable. Now, first of all, the very empty feeling of vulnerability is just the feeling you get when you're focused upon something your inner being isn't focused upon. It's not about the reality that you say is making you feel vulnerable. Vulnerable feeling is simply you vibrating in a way that doesn't let you feel the fullness of your inner being, even though your inner being is focused with you. So since you're holding your inner being away, you feel vulnerable. But let's set all of that concept aside. We know you understand that. Let's just focus for a moment on you feel vulnerable about something. So now, just like in this vortex where your inner being is and all the cooperative components are being gathered, the law of attraction is gathering cooperative components. Now, your inner being's got a way big head start. Your inner being is so powerful. Your inner being is pure positive energy. And so the cooperative components that are being gathered in this vibrational reality by your inner being toward who you have actually become is enormously larger than whatever your point of attraction is in your human form. You have no real power unless you are in concert with your inner being. Can you feel that? But just the same, you can gather together with a whole bunch of other humans, and you can feel vulnerable, and you can get a good stream of things that match vulnerability coming your way. So let's just for a moment talk about what cooperative components might gather around someone who feels vulnerable. Mad people, aggressive drivers, lack of clarity, those people that you want to call bumbling idiots. We're just saying. What are cooperative components to the feeling of vulnerability? Well, you're kind of going to find out, because if you feel vulnerable, they've been showing up in your experience. Traffic patterns don't flow for you. You find yourself not in good timing with the lights. You miss your exit. You take the wrong turn. You do all kinds of things that are a vibrational match to that feeling of vulnerability. How about overwhelmment? What kind of cooperative components are there to overwhelm it? Some of these things that we just pointed out to you. We just want you to notice that however you're feeling, cooperative components are supporting how you feel. And that's why you believe in the reality that you believe in, because you thought it was going to be that way, and then it was that way, and now you are so happy that you've confirmed that you are psychic and that you were right. I knew that was going to happen. I knew you were going to say that mean thing to me. I just knew that's the way you were going to respond to me. I just knew it. And so we're just saying that you might want to begin to take a little more ownership than might be comfortable at first in what's coming to you, because there is no assertion in this attraction-based universe. There's only attraction. There are not others out there asserting their awfulness or their orneriness or their badness or their meanness or their disrespect or their whatever. No one's asserting that into your experience, but you know, you think there is assertion because you keep getting things that you don't want, and you think that because things are coming to you that you don't want, that there must be assertion, because you wouldn't do that to you. But you are. It's only attraction. And once you accept, once you see something or receive something or live something that you don't want, and you decide to say, wait a minute, let me see, how do I really feel about that? Sort of try to get ahead of your defensiveness, ahead of the usual rhetoric that you offer, where you really acknowledge, oh, wait a minute, I was feeling that way, a match to that, and therefore nobody asserted that into my experience. Law of attraction matched me up because I was a cooperative component to it. Now you're in power. Now you're in control. Now you're in charge of your own experience. In the moment that you accept that there's no assertion, that there's only attraction, and that if it's coming to you, you are a cooperative component to what's coming, and then you let your decision be to be a cooperative component to things that feel like love, and a cooperative component to things that feel like fun, and a cooperative component that things that feel like clarity. And you start practicing them. Practice with easy things first. Don't test yourself. And the universe will show you what you are a vibrational match to. We're going to open this to a discussion about whatever you want to talk about. We want to just put one very important conversation forward first, and that is, so law of attraction abounds, and you are the point of the law of attraction, but you are 2 points of it. There's the inner being attraction, and there's the you attraction. And every time you ask for something, your inner being knew what you meant and began attracting to you that. And when you hold yourself in not cooperation, then you feel that discord. It's about you and you. It's not about you and anybody else. And once you get that, oh yeah, they misbehave, and then you have a knee-jerk response to them. We get why you think it has something to do with them, but it really has very little to do with them. It's all about you. So once you begin to reflect on what the law of attraction is and who you are in terms of, you were source energy before you came into this body, and a part of you came into this body, and this important physical you is sifting and sorting and coming to new conclusions about things because you're on the leading edge of creation. And you launch the rocket, and your inner being rides that rocket and focuses upon it and attracts the cooperative components, so that the new life that you have asked for is in the womb, so to speak, gestating, becoming what you are wanting it to be. And then you finding ways to focus in the direction of that until you are a vibrational match to it, and then catching up with it so that you are in vibrational alignment with what you have asked for, so that as those thoughts turn to things, you get to witness the unfolding. That's the best of all life experience. The law of attraction is responding to the vibration that you are offering. We just want you to be aware of that. And when we said earlier, start with things that are easy, here's what we mean. Some years ago, Esther went to San Francisco for her first visit, and she was impressed with it in so many ways, but she was astonished at the hills and streets that people lived on and were driving on. And she and Jerry drove to the top of this neighborhood and looked down a street that went all the way down to the bay. She could hardly believe that she had managed to drive the car up there. It was impressive, to say the least. Later, when we were wanting to help her and others understand about the law of attraction and to discuss the momentum in attraction, we said, imagine putting your vehicle at the top of that hill and taking the car out of gear and releasing any braking mechanism, and then decide that you're just going to give yourself a physics lesson to see what would happen if you just pushed your car a little bit forward. So it's easy to do. You're at the top of the hill and you just nudge it a little, it begins to move, and then you come to your senses. You realize, because you understand about physics and gravity and inertia, you pretty much can anticipate what's going to happen if that car gets moving, and so you step out in front of it and you let it bump up against you and it stops because you caught in the early stages of momentum. But you wouldn't want to be at the bottom of that hill trying to stop that car. Well, that's what we want to suggest relative to the thoughts that you've been thinking. A belief is just a thought that you continue to think, and some of those thoughts you've been thinking long enough that they have enough momentum that you're not going to stop them just because they're in your way. They have momentum that you're not going to give up on all at once. But in order to teach yourself the powerful law of attraction, and more important, your own creative control, and even more important, your guidance system and what your inner being knows about you, it would be so helpful if you would take a subject of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things that you don't have a lot of negative momentum about, things that you really don't have much opinion about at all perhaps, and you focus upon them just softly and watch how quickly the law of attraction brings you evidence of its response to your thought. If you can show yourself how the law of attraction responds to you, if you can make yourself the center of this universe where the law of attraction is responding to you, where you know that you've got a pure, non-resistant thought, and you see what happens with a thought that holds no resistance, and you see how powerfully and how quickly universal forces move in the direction of it, you will give yourself the power to be or do or have anything that you desire. But you've got to show yourself your own ability to release your own resistance, because no one else can release it for you. No one else can think your thoughts, therefore no one else can vibrate for you, therefore no one else can be your point of attraction. Now you want to say, but what about the power of influence? And we agree with you. There's a big power of influence, because you are so nosy about what's going on. You give your attention to all kinds of things that you don't want to live, but you give your attention to them because they're real, because somebody else is living them, and without meaning to, you practice the vibration of things that you don't want to practice the vibration of. And you know how you know that you're practicing the vibration of something that you don't want to practice the vibration of? It doesn't feel good when you think about it. And so we're just saying, you might want to begin as soon as possible to be nicer to yourself by choosing more thoughts that feel better to you. And then watch what a cooperative universe surrounds you, how powerful and loved you are, how worthy you are of a wonderful life, how many good things are in the wings for you, and how the only reason that they haven't come fully into manifestation in your experience can be for only one reason: you've got thoughts that oppose them that you offer frequently. That's all.